Frank in the wig episode wouldn't have stirred up such a stink if he only caught me wearing it. But I was also acting out one of the Dark Shadows scenes. I didn't think he was home. Frank walks through the house with the stealth of a deer. I hate that. I thought he was out trap shooting that afternoon when actually he was home spying on me. In the scene in front of the mirror, I was talking in my wispy Victoria voice to Barnabas, the well-dressed vampire, who was not wispy. Most vampires look a little, but not Barnabas. He could wear the laced shirts and never look like an angel food muffin. So, I was sitting at the vanity, looking in the mirror. I looked up into the mirror where I had visualized Barnabas standing and saw Frank standing there instead. He ruined the scene. Frank asked me who I was talking to. It went on from there, no place good. If Frank was Barnabas, I wouldn't let him bite me. Being a wet, soppy blanket most of the time, Frank is never game for much. Besides, he wouldn't bite me even if asked. He'd say, that could cause an infection. He's a germ bigot. I sometimes wonder whether I make a better Jo on Search for Tomorrow than a Victoria from Dark Shadows. I hope not. I need to be intensely Victoria. She's been good to me. The actress Mary Stewart played the character Jo for the entire run of the show, which was 35 years long. 35 years. I only played it once a week in the psychologist's office, and it wore me out so much I had to take extra iron. But anemia or not, I could tell it's a character who would never get old. And I see why Mary Stewart hung on. But let me make this clear to you. I admire Jo from afar, and she has served me well. But I am Victoria Winters. The actor Larry Haynes played Stu for the entire Search run as well. Oh, I'll bet Mary and Larry were good friends. It would have been nice to have lunch with them. Now, let me tell you all about yourself on Search for Tomorrow. Scott Phillips was a responsible, level-headed dude. And he was also cute, so you have that in common from the get-go. Scott Phillips was great husband material. There were hundreds listed across the country by the name of Scott Phillips, and you were hundreds of miles away. But now you're right here. I'm sitting across from a real Scott Phillips. You husband material, level-headed, hunky thing, you. And I can tell right now that you are an extremely pure Scott Phillips. You were worth the drive. I sent out letters to every Scott Phillips name listed, and you were my only responder. My very first Scott Phillips. It feels good to tell all and come clean just now. I've never revealed my life story to anyone, at least not the interesting parts. But that's all the past. Sitting with you right now, I'm beginning to see my future. There is a point in everyone's life when they have to quit staring into a vanity mirror at images standing behind them that aren't even there. Heck, for a lifetime I could look in my vanity mirror for Barnabas standing behind me, and I never see a thing. Vampires are invisible in mirrors. I know that. What I'm trying to say to you is I'm not the fictional Victoria Winters. I am a real one. Barnabas will never bite me, and I will never meet Mary Stewart because she has passed away. I know that. Sure, lunch with Mary Stewart and Larry Haynes would be nice, but that won't happen either. I don't need anybody overpaid to tell me that much. I know what the past is, and it's not with us now. I'll never need a shrink to tell me that. It feels so good sitting with you in this library. Librarians need to be attentive. And I can tell you're very attentive. Oh, and I can see why you like working here. Everyone here is like a family. I'll bet you have something to do with that. Oh, you might be single, but I sense that you're very family-oriented. Your t-shirt says, "Check me out." Well, what young girl wouldn't check a Scott Phillips out in the library or any place else? This feels so right. Scott Phillips, my very first one. It was worth the drive. My name is Victoria Winters.
And I am Scott Phillips.
Yes, you are. You are.